Welcome guys back to the channel. Today we are playing chess again. I've been playing chess for the past two videos and I really can't wait to play again. I've been away from the channel for a little bit. I haven't been playing chess for a while, but today we're going to try to increase our score again and we're just going to get into it. I hope you guys enjoy this video. We're going to start by playing 15 10-minute games. So that means you start off with 15 minutes and every turn your opponent and you get 10 seconds. So our opponent starts with the pawn of the king, so we're just gonna match him. I've been playing a lot, so we're gonna see how this game goes. I haven't been playing recently, but we're gonna try and get back into it and see if we could win. Now we're gonna just open up with pawn, maybe capture the center, we'll see. So what he's trying to go for is probably scholar's mate, which is the bishop and the queen comes out and he tries to checkmate you. What I'm gonna do is, I don't even know if it's coming, I'm going to put my knight in this position over here. That way I could just move it up the next turn. So what he does is he moves up his knight. If I try to push my knight over here, what's going to happen is my pieces are going to be staggered and I don't want that. So what I'm going to do is I'll put this bishop or this pawn up and then push this pawn up next, like this. And now he has to move his bishop just like that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my bishop over here. And this gives me control of this whole centerpiece. Now he moved his knight over here. What's going to happen is he's going to try and check me. What I'm going to do is move my knight out here. And he can't really do anything because if he tries to put his piece over here, what's going to happen is I'm going to capture it with the knight and then the king. He's not going to do that. So he's definitely not going to do that now. He might move his queen out over here, which is perfectly fine because what I'm going to do is just push my pawn up and develop my pieces. If I do push up this pawn, I'm going to move out this bishop and also castle. So he pushes his knight down over here. What I could do is move my knight over here. He might want to come down here, which I don't know why, or he might come down over there. But I'm going to move my knight. I'm going to try and threaten his bishop so he has to move it, which he has no place to go, so it's a free pretty much captured, which is one of the best moves I've done so far, which is interesting. But we still have to be aware that this queen, it can't come out here, but it could come out down here, and that's going to be a big issue. So we have to be really aware of that. And he could still checkmate me. So you have to be really aware of what we're doing. So he pretty much castles, gives me the bishop, we trade. And the reason why I want to trade it now is because I don't want to get checkmated down here. So this solves one problem. Next what we could do is we're going to move up this pawn. The reason why I move up this pawn is because now I could capture or try to threaten his knight. He moves it, he threatens to capture my queen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move my queen over here, and now I'm able to come onto this space. Again, I was at 750 at one point, then this was off camera when I was playing, but we're going to try and see if we can get back up to that score. I've been trying to get back into it, so we'll see. I've been really busy with me and skateboarding, so that's the main reason why I haven't been able to play as much as I would like to. He checks me. That's fine. I'm going to... Oh, the only thing I can really do is move my queen. That would have been checkmate. Luckily, he did not checkmate me at that point. He checks again. So he's pretty much going to capture my queen at this point, which I did not even see that coming. But that's pretty cool. I didn't know that. He could capture my bishop. We should probably... Actually, he can't because I have my rook. I'm going to try and capture this knight with this. Oh, damn. That was checkmate. This time, we're starting off as white. And I'm going to move my king's pawn, my queen's pawn, get these spaces open. What I really want to do is get this bishop out and try to protect my pawn. So what we're going to do is I'm going to put this pawn up, protect this pawn, and we're gonna capture the center just like that. And hopefully, so he does the move where he moves his pawn 2 spaces, I'm gonna capture it with the I don't know what that's called. It's some French word. I have no clue what that is. So he captures it back with the bishop. What we could do here is I'm gonna move this knight out. And the reason why I move this knight out is because I want to start developing my pieces. Also got to move this bishop, like I said before. But we're going to try and move this knight as well, and creating an infinite lock. So if he tries to take this knight, I've got this knight to take back. So it's a very interesting combination. So I'll move this knight again. I don't like to move 2 pieces at the same time because it doesn't really help develop other pieces, but I'm gonna do it now because I want to take that bishop, and hopefully I'll be able to capture it. All right, so what our opponent decides to do is castle, and the reason why I'm going to capture this bishop now is because I want to try and threaten his queen and rook, and now he has to move this pawn out, which helps me because now he opens up this whole entire position. So what I have to do is move my bishop out into this square right here. That way, if he puts this pawn all the way up here, I'll be able to capture, or capture with the queen and try and threaten him. So, and he's able to capture this way as well. So that kind of leaves me with 1 point. So what I'm trying to do is I'll move this back. You can't move this pawn because it is blocked by the king. It's pinned. So he can't move that pawn up. And what I could do now is I could move my knight over here, which is going to help me because then I could capture this knight. What I could also do is try to pin his knight over here with the bishop. That way he can't move it, but he tries to check me, which is perfectly fine. What I'm going to do is use the queen, block him. I'm really hoping he takes it so I could take it with the knight. If he does not take it, what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and threaten his king with my queen. What he could also do is he could also move his rook 1 spot right over here, which he doesn't. He takes it. Now he can move his rook, which is what I would probably do. What I'm going to do is castle, protect my king. Alright, so he tries to threaten my knight. I'm going to move it out the way. And the cool thing is too is because I have this bishop here, so I could move this bishop, and it's going to be an infinite lock with my rooks. So if I try to take any pieces, it's just an infinite lock. I'm going to capture 1 piece regardless. Alright, so he moves his knight. What I need to do now is I need to move this piece out, move this bishop out. He takes it. I'm going to take it back with this, and I'm going to try to take his pawn over here on this diagonal, which he moves up his piece. That doesn't really help me since he moved his piece out. What I'm going to do is move this rook. What I'm going to do is I'm going to move my bishop now. He's going to try to take this, going to move this pawn up. So he takes my knight. Okay. I'm going to take his rook. So that's check. He's going to try and take my bishop in the next move. What I'm going to do now is I am going to check him again. But most likely, even if he takes my bishop, what I'm going to do is move my pawn up 1. Now he can't take it unless he wants to trade. Or if he could use his bishop to take over here. But that's probably the best move I could do. And he pretty messed up because the reason why he messed up is because he traded at the wrong time. He had wrong timing. So what I'm going to do now is move my rook over here. And the reason why is because I'm going to move this rook down here. Once I move this rook down to the last space, I'm going to capture that knight with this bishop. He's going to take it back, and we're going to see how that plays out. But what I should really do is I should actually take these pawns. But again, we have that infinite lock right now. We have the infinite lock because no matter what happens, I will end up taking at least 1 piece. He's still able to move his knight, but it doesn't matter. So now he's going to try and take it with the bishop. So he moves his rook back, trying to protect his pawns. What I'm going to do is move my rook down here. And we're going to try and capture his pieces. He can't move his bishop unless he does want to move it. And right now he's kind of lucky because he has his rook that's protecting his knight and his bishop. So he has two pretty much attacks. I'm going to check in with this rook. We're going to see what happens. He's going to go back with a knight. I am down. I'm actually up 3 pieces, which is pretty good. I'm up 3 pieces. I could afford to lose a rook, but I really kind of don't want to. I kind of want to take... I really can't do anything about that right now. But he did block this. I'm going to move this pawn up. He technically blocked his bishop with his rook. So now I could put this pawn up. But what most likely he's going to do now is he's going to try and move this rook down here somewhere. And try to move over here and then try to checkmate me by moving the bishop over. But we're going to see, yeah, he's going to try and do that. He's going to try and move down, try to checkmate me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this pawn up. He's going to try to check me. Unless he's trying to capture that pawn, which he doesn't. But at this point, I'm going to try and move. He makes a big blunder. He tries to check me right here, which is a big issue because now I just capture with the rook. And that's pretty much it. That's the game. He's pretty much gonna resign at this point because I have 2 rooks. I'm gonna trade that bishop. Yep, he resigns. So he lost 1, we won 1. Alright, we're gonna play one more game. We're gonna see if I could get on top. We have 1-1. We're gonna see if I win. So got here. We're gonna try and capture. He's gonna try and go for the scholar's checkmate, maybe. No, he's not. Ooh, I can't really do that. I really wanted to take this pawn, but I really can't do that right now. We're gonna try and capture this middle piece, this middle section. All right, he doesn't want to go for that, so we're gonna put this pawn up as well. That's gonna really help us. We're gonna check him right here. Actually, we're not gonna check him yet. I'm gonna push this pawn up. I'm threatening his knight. And as I'm threatening his knight, I'm gonna try and move this queen out. So that way... Okay, so he tries to threaten my queen. So we're gonna check him. He's probably gonna move his bishop out. Yep. He moves his bishop out. I'm gonna lose that rook now. But I'm gonna go over here. So that way I can go inside here. Capture this pawn. He tries to threaten by taking those pieces. What I'm going to do now is... Yep, I'm going to take that queen. So the reason why I take that queen is because now I could check him and I still get a rook and then he takes a knight. So, even trade. Tries to check me. Okay. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to move this knight over here and try and threaten his bishop. So what I'm going to do now is... I'm going to try and move his king to a space where I could threaten him. If I get him on a white space, but we're going to try and see. We're going to move this pawn up. He's going to take that knight. He hasn't taken the knight yet, which is weird. Is he trying to go for a mate? Now he takes the knight. I was able to recover. I'll say that much. I was able to recover from me losing so many pieces. I'm going to move this bishop over here. He might want to check me. Nope. And I need to start capturing. I need to threaten his bishop over here. If I do that, it doesn't really help me. I'll move this and I'll move this pawn. And I'll threaten his knight. Or his, Okay, he captures. We're gonna trade it. I'm gonna move my rook over here. Get control of the square. So I can't move up. I'm gonna move my knight. Now he's gotta move back. I want him off this space over here. Because as long as I can get him off this space, then it's gonna make it a lot more easier for me to capture this knight that's over here. Alright, so he moves up this piece. Alright, I'm gonna move this knight over here. The reason why is I might want to threaten his king somehow. So this is what we're gonna do. Trade it. Yep. Pop. He's not gonna take it. Oh, never mind, he is. I forgot that he had his bishop over there. But he can't move it now. Unless he wants to trade like that. I'm gonna move my rook back. He might try and threaten my rook, so I'm gonna try and move it back because he could have checked me and he took in my rook. So right now he's just threatening me with a whole bunch of bishops. If I move here, he can't really threaten. I'm gonna leave that. I'm gonna leave that. You know why? Actually, I'm gonna move this up. I'm gonna threaten his bishop. Yep. Take it with the rook. You may want to take it with the bishop. What I need to do now is find a way to get this piece out. I have to get this bishop out. Check. If I move this queen, king... Actually, I'm not going to lose it. Never mind. Actually, no, I am going to lose it. But I'm going to lose it regardless, so I'm going to move my king. He's going to take it. He didn't want to take it. I'll move my king in front. I'm going to threaten his king with the rook. I don't know why I did that. I lost. Oh, man, I lost again. Whether I win or lose, this is going to be the last game I play. So we're at 715. We're going to try and get up back our score to 723 or something like that. The St. George defense. All right. And we're going to make this into a speed round. And I'm filming 4K 30 frames per second. That's why my camera overheats. If it was 30 frames per second, 1080, no problem. But 4K, it's always going to be a problem. Which I don't know why they make 1080 now. Everything should be 4K. Everything. Although we don't have really the technology to film everything in 4K because of overheating and computer components and all that. It's more expensive. But I still would rather have 4K out of everything. This is going to be the last game. I'm going to make sure... Doesn't matter if I win or lose. This is going to be the last game. Because, again, I don't want to... make sure that I'm able to get all the footage and also edit it and all that. So, captures. I capture back. So I still have this middle piece, but he has this middle piece. So these two pieces are blank. And what he could do is he could push up this pawn, which doesn't really help me because he could take my knight. But what I'm going to do now is I have to put this bishop over here. And I'm going to try and take that bishop back. Alright, so he captured a pawn. So now he has control of the squares. Yeah, but Dutton Ranch is pretty good. If anybody wants to watch anything, like if people live in Texas or like Montana or Nebraska or there where they're like farmlands and stuff, it's very relatable to people who work in the farms. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to spoil it because I'm not the type to spoil things. But that's pretty much my perception on it. So the only thing that I would be more concerned about is whether or not... So I'm going to... He's going to try and capture this... Yep, never mind. He's going to capture this pawn. Oh, never mind. He's on this space. I thought he was on this space. I don't know why I said... This is my whole thing. I keep messing up on where the pieces are because I'm so used to seeing moves being done. So me seeing these kind of pieces, it's so weird. Alright, we're going to move... I shouldn't have done that. I'm so dumb. That was a dumb move. Because now you could fork me with a pawn. But what I could do is I could threaten... If he tries to take my rook... Never mind, he doesn't do that. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to try and threaten his knight with my pawn. Which he might. We'll see what happens. If he tries to pawn this up and try to threaten my knight, I'm going to take that pawn. And then he tries to take that, I take it back. So you're trying to go for this pawn over here, I think. I'm not really sure. I'm going to go over here. The reason why I'm going to go over here is because I want to come down and take his... Yeah, I need to get rid of this knight. I got to get this knight out of this position. So I'm going to try and threaten him with pawns. Yeah, it's such a complicated game, this one. For your last game, I'm really happy it's this one. You might be able to get a really good ending for this one. But we'll see. And his bishop, I feel like if he developed his pawns a little bit more, as I'm one to talk because I have not developed any of my pawns, I think that would have been... Yeah, so he's pretty much developing his pieces now. I'm going to throw in his knight because now I have that opportunity. Hopefully he can move out. If he moves his knight, I'm gonna capture with the rook. That's where he messed up. I messed up before because he could have forked me with a pawn, but this time he messed up because now he's got to move his knight, or he's gonna he's gonna lose one of his knights basically. Or what he could also, it doesn't really matter. Even if he pawns this one up 2 spaces, I'm still able to capture this knight. Then I capture with the rook. So regardless of what he does, he's losing one of his knights. He pretty much made a bad move. I made a couple of mistakes, as you guys probably seen in the last 2 videos and also the last 2 games we played. I've made a couple of mistakes, but I'm learning. Of course. Capture this knight. Now we're up by 2 points finally after a long struggling battle. The only problem is these pawns are all staggered and in pretty good position. I see he's trying to threaten my rook with a king, and that's not gonna. He's trying to threaten my rook with a king. That's not gonna happen. What I'm going to do is I'm going to move my rook back here. Our rooks have control of the center right now because they're controlling these 2 rows, which is very important. As long as you're able to control those rows, you're good. Now, we are gonna move this rook or this knight over here. We're gonna pawn up. The reason why we're gonna pawn up is to protect that pawn, of course, or this knight. We're gonna try and protect it with the pawn. So he pushes this pawn up. I'm gonna capture it. Check. I'll move this pawn over here. All right, so he moves his bishop. He's trying to threaten one of my knights. What I'm going to do is move my knight back. I'm gonna move it back because I want to make sure it's protected, because I just lost the pawn. And if he moves his bishop anywhere on this row, pretty much I'll be good. If he moves it down here, it doesn't really matter because I can't move my rook. All right, so he tries to threaten my rook. I'm gonna threaten him back. So he tries to threaten my rook with the knight. So I'm gonna threaten him back by putting my rook, and now he's trying to run away with his knight. And this is the part where I have to start developing these pieces, because if I don't develop these pieces down here, I'm gonna be trapped, and it's gonna make it a lot more difficult for me to move around. So I'm gonna try and get this knight over here. What I can't do is I can't put this knight or this knight in front like that. I can't put that in front. If I try to put those knights in front of my rook, what's gonna happen is I'm gonna lose my rook because there's no more protection. So what I'm gonna do is capture this pawn right over here that I just did. And then after I capture this pawn, I'm going to try and come up and try and see if I could capture more pieces. But again, we're up by 3 points. So pretty much we're up by a knight. Yeah, we're up by a knight. So I'm not going to try and give up control of that. Right now, he's again trying to threaten my pieces. So what I'm going to do, if he can... Nah, I was going to trade him, but that would be a pretty bad move. I'm going to try to trade him this bishop. The less pieces I have right now, the better it is. Because I'm already up by a knight. And that's going to give me more control. And if I do end up capturing his bishop, that's going to help me a lot. Because now I'm able to move this rook back here and start checking him all the way down to where I need him to go. So he captures it. Yep. I capture back. He's going to go down here. Yep. I'm going to go down here. Alright, so he moves his king out of the way. Which is kind of a bad move because you don't really want to move your king out of the way now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to move him over here. He might want to try and move back. I don't know. But regardless, I have check next move. Or I could have moved up this pawn and had him checked again. So it depends. But right now, what he can't do with his king is he can't move this row. The only spaces he could move is here and here. Those are the only 2 spaces he could move. And I don't really have any places that I have to... Actually, he couldn't have moved here. So the only space he could move is up back there. You know what I'm going to do? I just found the move. Check. I found the move. I found the move. I found the move. I found the move. I was like looking at it. I'm like, okay, I know what to do. He's got to move back here. Yep. Check. Mate. That is it. I kind of like, yo, why can't I just like move my king or move his king back there and then just checkmate him? Like I literally had a 2-move checkmate, and then I just figured out. I was like, yep, that's it. That's all I have to do. All I had to do was make his king go back to that space because he has no place to go, and just move my knight, and that's it. I'm really bad at doing checkmates with knights, but I really like the fact that I was able to get it in this game, which is pretty cool. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys like this video by clicking the thumbs up button. Also, subscribe to the channel if you guys want to see more content from my channel. If you guys want to see more chess, comment down below your favorite openings for the chess games that you play, and I might play myself. And I'll see you guys for the next video. Peace out, guys.